Let us here. Let me hit record down here too. I always have the backup. All right, on three, two, one. We are speaking with a legendary vocalist, a Graham Bonnet. A Graham, as we say in Montreal, bonjour, comment allez-vous? How are you?
Bonjour. I'm okay. I'm not
Yes.
too bad. I had back surgery late last year, which was really awful. I had to sit on a stool on stage when we're out playing. But who knows when we're going to play again? So I had that done. My back is great. But when I went to have X-rays the other day, last week, in fact, I found out that both my shoulders, I have arthritis in both of them, and will need a replacement. So this now is bugging me, but my back is perfect. I mean, it's not bugging me that much, but it's called getting old. It's called
Isn't
getting old, man.
I know. I wake up every morning and something new hurts, and I go, I don't even have a name for that. It's hurting
Yeah,
some.
yeah, I know. It's I remember years ago sort of laughing at people that kind of hobbling along, but now you find out, well, not hobbling along, but you find out, yes, you grow old too, and that body is going to wear out. You're not always going to be young,
No.
and so you can see by the hair now. I've stopped dyeing it, and admitted I'm old, but I'm not. I'm not old. You know what I mean? I'm older than
I
a lot of people because they haven't been going to the hairdressers or whatever. There's suddenly loads of grey people walking the streets. It's like, oh, you're grey too.
Yeah.
But
And,
anyway,
and listen, in terms of sitting on the stage on a stool, I saw Phil Collins last year or 2 years ago, whatever. He was sitting. It was one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. So listen, you show. Oh, it was fantastic. So you show up and you play the music. In fact, let me quickly talk to you about the album that you put out earlier this year, Born Innocent. Obviously, part of the program and part of promoting it was to get out on the road, and that got shut down quickly.
yeah.
How much did that impact the band, the tour? I mean, obviously it killed the touring schedule, but how much did that sort of just take the air out of the balloon of sort of the call it a reunion if you want, but of the band?
Yeah, well, I mean, it went all together. Everybody went home because we're all locked in, and our manager resigned. So I thought the band wasn't going to do anything anyway. I thought this was going to be the last album. So he resigned, and I thought, well, okay. I asked the guys if they wanted to carry on without him. He'd had enough of this business, and some of the guys in the band maybe me, I'm not sure, but it wasn't going well. Let's say that. And he disappeared and just left the whole, me going, well, what's going to happen now? So I asked the guys if they wanted to do it, carry on without him. And I said, oh, no, we can't do it without him. Because a couple of the guys in the band are very tight with him. And he's out of favor with me all the way. He did things that I didn't like. And it's better that we did part. But there's going to be, what's happening now is I'm putting another Alcatrazz together with different players who are very, well, and I can't say anything right now, but they're really a few well-known players. And this will be sort of a competition between, I think they're going to go out as Alcatrazz. They've got a singer now who's going to be doing
Right.
what I do, and they're
Yes.
going out as Alcatrazz, and I can't do anything about that. And, my mom and dad could have gone out as Alcatrazz years ago, but anybody can do it. Now, the name is not my name. It's can be used by any band. So they're going to go out, and basically it'll be me not singing with them. And so what's happening now is we're putting a new band together, which will be the new Alcatrazz album, but not with those guys.
Not with those guys. Well, I'll ask you about that because you've had the name over the years. You've had Howie Simon. You've had Bobby Rock and Glenn Sobel. You've had other lineups with the name.
Yeah.
It would suggest to me that you have the proper ownership of the name.
Yeah.
And now, of course, there's two Great Whites and there's two L.A. Guns and there was two Rats and it seems to be, there was two Sweets. It seems to be the way that things go in rock music. So
Yeah. I mean, it was like 12 bands, different versions. Well, it's like I think 3 Beach Boys or something.
yeah,
Who are my heroes. So I always like to go to a concert where the Beach Boys are playing and Brian Wilson is there, but he never is. So I had to go and see his concert, Smile, which was incredible. Oh, amazing. But yeah, I mean, everybody's doing it because we got to make money somehow, and it's not with one freaking band anymore. You know?
No, and listen, as a fan, I have seen a lot of the double versions, and it to me, it's like, well, now I get one band coming to Montreal twice. I get
Yeah.
2 evenings of great rock. But jokes aside and stuff, where does that put you in terms of recording? Because you do the Graham Bonnet band as well.
Yeah.
Uh, how do you differentiate what songs go in what pile and how you present yourself? And ultimately, a brand name has value. And to go out as Alcatrazz has value.
Yeah, well, the Graham Bonnet band is what I'm doing right now. In
Right.
fact, I'm writing songs right now as we speak. As you can see, I'm writing something on my leg right now. It's no, literally, as before I got on the get out of here. She's sneaking it. She's sneaking. What's
I
she saying?
know.
At me. I'm not talking about you. I'm not messing up, am I?
No.
Yeah, well, we are doing that right now with Conrad Passanato, who is here too. Conrad Passanato, who is our old guitar player, not old, a young guitar player from a couple of years ago, and also with Bethany on bass. And what's going to happen? We have different players on this album. Got some guest players, which I can't really talk about right now, but they are on this album. They've done their parts already. But it's quite exciting to have people on this album, the Graham Bonnet Band album, that are people I respect,
Yes.
and they're absolutely great. So this is what we're doing right now is that the Graham Bonnet album, and as I said, I think we've got maybe 10 songs ready to go. So now today, what I was doing before you interrupted me.
So incredibly rude to break in.
I was
Listen,
I was
I will say this about two of your former bandmates. They were in a band called New England, Gary Shea and another, and Kiss with New England is the first concert I ever saw in 1979. So technically, those were the two first guys I ever saw on a stage. So I have a special place in my heart for them, and you know. But let me just quickly move on here because I don't want to make this interview all about negative stuff. There's more to life than just that. Earlier today, I had a chance to interview Michael Schenker, and he was doing well. He's promoting his new album, Immortal. And I saw you on the Schenker Fest in Montreal, and I have to say that was just an absolute glorious evening. I didn't know what to expect, and you came out, and then Robin came out, and Doogie came out, and holy fuck, it was great. I mean, there's no other way to say it. What was that experience like for you to come back and to sing the Assault Attack songs and just be part of that and hear Lights Out and hear Doctor Doctor and hear...
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
Well, it was actually nice to actually reunite with Michael because I parted on very bad terms. I did something very terrible when I was on tour with him.
Yes. The infamous story, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't repeat that a million. It's an old story, and
we're not repeating it. We're looking at the future and what you did that's positive.
Yeah, well, what it was like was go on stage with him and sing those songs and look across the stage and see him smiling and go, yeah, you actually did it instead of going on stage doing one song and going on, walking off, and that's what happened years ago. So to work with Michael again actually was a bit of a surprise. I didn't think he wanted to work with me at all. But, he likes the way I write songs, and that's great. But now that, that sort of Robin and Doogie and Gary and me thing is all over, he's starting something else. I don't know what he's going to do next. As I said earlier, it's kind of like making an album a week. I don't know how he does it. I'm glad he's got good people around him. That's all I can say. Because Michael is a great guitar player, a great songwriter. I love the way he plays and the way he puts an arrangement together. But yes, it was fantastic to go on stage with him and sort of redeem myself after a lousy time I had on stage with him in Sheffield, England. It was a night to remember. Not Titanic, but almost.
We're almost. But and Assault Attack is one of the greatest albums that came out of the 80s. Just real quick on the Schenker Fest thing. They put out an album called Out Revelation. Great sounding album. You got to sing a couple of songs on there.
Yeah.
Michael went on record as saying you weren't thrilled with the artwork. Is that true? No. And if so, what was offensive about the artwork to you?
Well, I didn't like it was like Michael on the cross, so to speak. I mean, he's doing the thing with the guitar and everything, and all these people going up and going, in awe of him. And I said to him, I said, Michael, I'm not in awe of you. You are not Jesus Christ. And, that is not, I don't want to be represented as some guy who is standing back in awe and actually so glad to be with you and worship you. I had to say that. And I said, when the albums come in, when people want their album signed, I'm not going to do it. You can just pass it on. Because I just think I'm not religious, but I think that was a bit sacrilegious. It might offend some people. And Michael has suddenly, what is the deal with his new album covers? They're all kind of a bit strange to me. They're very sort of, look at me, I'm a god or whatever. And I don't mean to insult him, but I don't quite understand the album covers. I saw the recent one. It's something like, here I am, and worship me. And we're just musicians. We're not magicians, we're musicians, And Michael's something, I don't know who's prompting him to sort of say, yeah, but your artwork should be this. But I think he probably does it himself. I'm not sure. Has an idea and then puts it together. Like the first one we did with the table, the Last Supper deal. I thought that was a bit naff as well. I thought no.
Yeah, Resurrection, the album cover didn't bother me. Immortal didn't bother me. Revelation, I don't want to say it bothered me, but I did turn the booklet in the CD inside, up backwards so I don't have to see it when I listen to the album. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't react to that one, but it did seem like the whole crucifixion thing seemed a little bit over the top for a rock and roll band. But the music was great on it.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. But I just didn't like the album cover. I mean, I went with the first one with the Last Supper deal because I thought, oh well, it's been a while since I've seen Michael. I better go along with this. But then when I saw this, when we got back together and were sort of friends again, I thought, well, I can say my piece. Everybody else can sign the albums, and I was the only one that said something about it. Because that's what I'm like, pain in the fucking ass.
Yeah, well, let me talk quickly about making new music, because you of course do the Graham Bonnet Band. You did this Born Innocent album. You could, of course, as Graham Bonnet, sit back and say, hey, I'm going to go do an Assault Attack tour, top to bottom. You could market yourself differently, and yet you're insistent on making new music, and you make great new music, Born Innocent being proof. What compels you to go out there and say, no, I'm not going to fucking sing Assault Attack for the next 12 years. Like, I'm going to do something new.
Well, yeah, you have to, if you're a so-called artist or musician or whatever, because it gets stale after a while. You go, how many times can I sing, Assault Attack, for instance, that being one song. But over the years, I've re-recorded songs I've made, like when I was 3, and I have to redo them again with the band I'm in that time. And so, you have to keep on going, because I can't just, in my head now, it's like, what am I going to write for this damn song? I was doing some research today for the new song I'm trying to write now, the lyric. And it's about, I was reading about the moon being hollow, the hollow moon thing. And I thought, well, is that a good song? Is that a good idea, for a song? I'm not quite sure. So I'm just sort of researching a little bit.
I say yes, because you could, metaphorically, it could be, an empty heart or an empty thing, or the government is empty. So I think metaphorically that's a good place to go.
Yeah. I was just looking at it, this thing today, and the moon, the craters are all the same depth. So when something hits it, it doesn't go down like most craters do. They get really big, but all the craters on the moon are kind of all not in unison, but all the same depth, and they look the same. So why? Because you remember when Apollo went up there and they dropped the thing to the moon, the part of the rocket, and it rang for 1 hour, boom, and they said it sounded like a bell. These are the astronauts telling us this. And then they sent up something else again that was heavier than that part that they dropped from the rocket. And the bell sound went on for 3 hours. So everybody's saying, why? And, is the moon actually made of metal? It's a whole thing, like, what the hell is that? It's a great story. And one day I think somebody will get into the secret of the moon, because you read old texts and it says that before the moon was there, before there was the moon, it's like thousands of years ago or something. So where did it come from and what is it? And we only see one side of the moon. It's always facing the earth. It's
What's on the dark side of the moon?
On the dark side, yes. Well, I mean, they've taken photographs of the dark side, and apparently I was watching something with one of the astronauts talking about it, and they said there was something down there that resembled buildings, buildings, basically.
Oh.
And I remember seeing when the first moon landing was over and they came back to Earth. I remember the interview. They were talking about the moon landing, but those guys look like, I better not say too much. They look frightened. They look as though they had been scared by something they saw, and so they were very kind of like, they did not much facial expression. So yeah, it was really an amazing thing. And they're kind of looking around. If you watch that, I don't want you to watch it right now, but I mean, this is what I think.
I'm on YouTube right now watching it. No, I'm kidding. Let me just quickly also ask you about the musical style, because I've seen a lot of bands and a lot of artists as they get older, they start softening their approach to what they do. And when you look at Born Innocent and some of the other stuff, you're still a rock guy. I mean, or even a metal guy for that point. I mean, talk to me about that and why you still have that enthusiasm to just pound at it and give you this hard rock metal. Why not go folksy?
Hey? Yeah. I mean, that's me, but I'll tell you something. I never listened to metal or hard rock. I always listen to the opposite of what I do, because I would get influenced by people who, Metallica or whomever, and go, oh, that's what they're doing, I better do that too. So I never listened to that, because then you get influenced by it and you start writing songs like them. And it's always good to be individual and new, So I love all kinds of music. I really do. I mean, I've been playing since I was, probably 14, live in front of audiences and playing all these different kinds of music. And so from that music I used to play when I was a kid, I've drawn certain elements like jazz or just great chords or arrangements to put into hard rock. And I surprised, wherever he is, Conrad with some chords. Oh, I got to put a diminished in there. And he goes, what? And, I diminished. Now every song we make up has got a diminished chord in it or something. No, not necessarily. But you've got to be very careful with the so-called heavy rock, because the songs I think can all sound the damn same. If you're not, it's like, all that going on, and, the screaming thing, it's sort of been done to death. So we try to make something a little bit different and more mature. And
I'll finish with these two questions, because I know we have limited time here, but you talked about your back and your shoulders and stuff. What seems to be working perfectly well is your voice. Is there a concern there, or do you have to prepare differently before a show? Do you warm up different? How has age affected your ability to use your instrument?
Well, I haven't sung for a year. Well, I have sung a couple of things, but I had a little throat surgery about, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, because one of my vocal cords was really damaged, from all the, over the years. And the guy put some cortisone in there, and it was all flat, And so he put cortisone into the thing, and my doctor, and it plumped up again. It sounds rather rude, doesn't it? It plumped up again, and it's perfect now. And I suddenly found that I was singing like I did, when I was 20 or something, and that stayed the same all this time. It was I used to get a little bit of after singing for a while, and that's what was wrong. It's still scarred this side, but it's kind of a little healthier looking. But I'm just lucky, because a lot of people of my age, I know they lose air. They don't have the air, and luckily I was born with fucking huge lungs.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of vocalists, as they get older, they stop singing and they basically talk the song, and you're just like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And I'll finish on this. You are putting together the new Alcatrazz. Where are we in terms of new music? What comes out first? New Alcatrazz, new Graham Bonnet? Is it something for 2021? Is it something for 2022?
Yeah, I think they'll all be next year. I mean, the Alcatrazz thing and the Graham Bonnet band. As I said, we are doing that as we speak. So we're not finished yet. So it should be out, what we hope, by sort of springtime or something, next year. You never know what's going to happen these days. Everything, the world is going to fucking shit.
It is.
That's why things are being held up, and this is, we're very lucky to have what we're doing right now, to be able to go ahead and hope that we have an audience one day, because that's what we look for, is playing live.
Well, I think the audience is there. We're there. We're waiting, but we're waiting for the government to say that we can go rock on with Graham and Alcatrazz and Michael Schenker and everybody else. And prayers, right? It's going to happen. As we say in Montreal, merci beaucoup. An absolute pleasure. Thank you for doing this today.
Oh, you're very welcome. Merci, and whatever else you say. You fluent French.
Yeah.
Do you speak French?
I do speak French. I have no choice. I live in Montreal.
You have to. Yeah, well, I have a son that lives in Canada. He lives in Toronto.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, but he doesn't speak French. You
don't have to speak French in Toronto, but you can't get through Montreal without a little parlez-y bien. You need to.
All right, man.
Well, I hope you make it up to Canada soon. We always glad to have Graham come and rock the world here. And there we go. Merci bien.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, man, for the interview.
Cheers.
Okay.